Yo, Big Mek, are you done with the army yet?
Done? I just started!
It's been like a month now.
What? No, it hasn't! Get out of here! Darn grots! Wag! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm old Big Mek, and yes, indeed, we are working on our new army, and it's not done yet. So let's get into it! Alright, a little backstory for those of you that didn't catch the first episode or any of the stuff leading up to this. I am doing a new army build here during December. What has happened is I've collected orcs up there since the mid-90s. Love them to death. And I have Beastsnaggas, but I don't really have any Beastsnagga orcs in my army. I've done one Beast Boss conversion that's kind of lived in the display case, but not really done anything with it. And when the new Holiday Battle Forces got announced this year and the Beastsnagga Stampede box was in there, I knew that I just had to take the dive. So, since I'm doing this expansion to my existing army with this new kind of sub-faction that hasn't really existed before, it was a great chance to kind of like treat it as a new army and see how long it takes a regular person to build a Warhammer army. Not some crazy YouTube 24-hour challenge or anything crazy like that. Like life, kids, work, house, spouse, all the things, school that take up your time and my time. What does it look like to do an army? So in the first episode, we set out a plan. We started working on the first few guys, and that was kind of where we left it off. Now, fast forward about a week or so later, and I've gotten some work done, and we're going to talk about it. All right, so I moved over to the workbench so that I can actually show you all of the cool, fun things that I have built for this army and really kind of let you in on some secrets of the Beastsnaggas. Now that I've gotten some experience with building them, handling the kits, playing with the sprues, I've got a better handle on them, both aesthetically and kind of what it's like to build them, what kind of options you have. Because we do get a lot of questions about those on the channel, and of all the orc things, these are the ones I am least experienced with. So, flip this around so you can see, and I'm going to keep narrating and tell you what we're on about. Alright, as you can see, there's a pretty decent sized army going here on the table. So, before this was the one I had showed you, the only figure that I had in the army thus far, and that was the Beast Boss on foot that I made from the Warhammer Plus exclusive model a couple of years ago. We started with the regular Beastsnagga boys, built the knob, the thump gun, and one regular boy. You can see now, I now have the rest of the squad completely built and together. And the aesthetic is really cool. Now, the basic Beastsnagga boys here aren't much different than your regular boys. They're about the same size, they're about the same build, they're about the same poses. What you get different are some furs and leathers and things kind of over them instead of just clothing. They just about all have a armor plate here over their left shoulder, or some sort of piece of metal from something that they've captured. And there are a few cyborg enhancements, and I do mean a very, very few. There's this guy right here has one kind of ankle done, and then this guy here has one wrist done, and that's about all. Woo! So when it comes to making your own Beastsnaggas, you don't need to go full feral, because again, they're not feral. They don't just hunt beasts, they also hunt tanks, monsters, basically anything that is giant on the battlefield they will take down. And they have cyborg enhancements. So if anything, while yes, you could use Age of Sigmar Ardboys or something like that, I think you're almost better off just using regular old boys and kind of putting some effort into some furs and some metal pieces and some things like that. But basically, if you mix some bionics in with whatever you're doing, it will work. So that was that. And now with one whole squad built, this is what's left of the sprue. You've got the knob's front. If you don't do the knob, you've got a different kind of torso for him and head. And then the thump gun guy, you've got a set of arms for him. as well as the set of arms for the knob. And that's it. Those are the only extras you get in the whole thing. So really you end up with one extra head, one extra body front, and a couple extra arm sets. Now, these body fronts, because they don't have backs, these are really difficult to use as far as converting up another boy or something like that. But the arms you could totally use. Now, the fit and finish of these models was actually quite good. The Beastsnaggas were designed in that kind of awkward period of Games Workshop where they just stopped doing hand sculpting and just started doing digital sculpting, and they hadn't quite perfected it yet. You really see it in the Ork buggies and things. Those are some of the really, really first ones. They got it down a little bit more with these. They fit together well. They do a good job hiding the seams. So like this guy's arm seam is hidden by the metal plate. And then, you know, the like where you nip off from the sprue is usually hidden underneath things. So they're really kind of smartly done in that way. As far as options go, again, you've got the knob can be a regular Beastsnagga, and then you've got a thumb gun guy or not. And that's about it. However, the heads, although they're not the same ball and socket type as old school orks, seem to be pretty much compatible with one another, not just the Beastsnaggas themselves, but also kind of the rest of the Beastsnagga range, which is something I'll talk about later. So head swapping will be really easy. You can do those back and forth with the other Beastsnaggas kind of with impunity. As far as other converting goes, the arms appear to be kind of swappable. And what I mean by that is if you look at the sprues and kind of where the arms join, they're kind of this not really standardized wedge looking thing. So they're not going to necessarily go exactly in the spots, but with the aesthetics, especially on the right arm of the shoulder pad covering the joint, and the fact that it's just kind of this funky bevel, you should be able to kind of clean them up with an X-Acto knife and get them to fit in there, and then cover up the seam with that shoulder pad. So my second set of Beastsnaggas, I'm going to be trying that and seeing what kind of arm swaps I can get away with and head swaps I can get away with, just to make the second squad look different from the first. Now, I do have a third squad to build, and I'm kind of unsure on where to go from there, if I could just keep doing arm and head swaps and have it look okay, or if I'm going to start noticing that these bodies are the same. Now, the other thing, though, that is going to be easy is the shoulder pads, okay? Those particular pieces of armor pretty much appear to have the exact same dimensions underneath for all of them. So with a little bit of filing and fitting, you should be able to swap the armor pads around on everybody. So that is the other major way, along with the heads, to really make them look different without having to get into too much hacking and slashing and, you know, breaking out the big chopper. So that's the basic boys. I've got my first squad of 10 done. Now let's get into the well, the squigglies, Squighogs, that's what I'm looking for. So this is a Squighog, and this is a Squighog boy that rides him, and this is a Squighog grot that rides on the boy. This is all very interesting. So basically what's interesting about this is even though this boy is keyed to this particular squig, as far as going down on him, as far as I can tell, it's pretty much just the arm placement for the hand on the squig that makes him any different than any of the others. So if you pick up the other squig bodies, he does go right on. It's just the arm in a different spot. So as long as you keep the arm keyed to the squig, it appears that you can swap the bodies back and forth. Now, irrespective of that, you've got on the back here, you see this little buckle. That's what little grot here is holding on to. And so you can keep your grots separate and then put them in on the buckle, and it appears you can mix and match your grots. For example, here is grot number 3, and he goes into the same plug kind of area as grot number 1. So you should be able to switch around your bodies and switch around your grots pretty easily. Again, the only keying I'm seeing is the arm holding the Squighog. Now, the other thing you notice is this Squiggly Piggly does not have his face on him, and that's because the faces have the same connection point, so you can swap the faces. The only thing you have to watch out for is this particular face faces to the Squig's left. You can see how it's kind of cockeyed there. and this body has a hoof out in the way. So this particular face on this one, you would have to do some grinding on on the face in order to get that one to fit correctly, but it's only because it hits the hoof. As far as going in the actual hole, they are the same. So you can swap the squiggy faces, swap the riders, swap the grots on the back, and make your Squighog riders all look different. And again, same thing as the regular regular Beastsnaggas. The shoulder pad pieces appear to be the same kind of connection, boy to boy to boy, so you can swap those out, and same thing with the heads, you can swap the heads around as well. So I did build one set out of the box, and then the next set we will mix and match. Oh, the other thing, so the Squiggies here, they have this jaw piece that you add on, and these 2 pieces of shoulder armor that you add on. You don't have to. You can see they're actually fully designed underneath with the skin there, and on their jaws they have full chins. Those are just add-on pieces, so if you didn't want to add those on and have a more feral look, you totally can. Conversely, if you are converting something else into Squighog boys, you're going to want to add some armor plates to them, and then look, again, bionic pieces. This one's got a back leg. This one's hilarious. He doesn't even have legs in the back. He literally has the back half of a war bike, and this one has a mechanical front leg. So none of the the actual Squiggies, the Squighogs themselves, are fully squiggerific. So keep that in mind if you are converting or creating this squad from something else. So yeah, basically, because of the interchangeability of the parts on this particular kit, this is going to be the easiest one to convert. You really kind of don't have to do anything. You could buy 3 of these squads, build all the bodies, build all the faces, build all the guys, and then just play, mix and match, and have, squad 1 be, body A, head A, guy A, grot A, and then have, the next one have, maybe head B and body C and grot B, or whatever, and just kind of mix and match them to get the different looks without really having to try too hard on anything at all. They're actually designed really well. So for being a, monopose kit, they really aren't very monopose. Now, that kit does famously come with a whole nother unit inside. So you get the full unit of Squighog boys, which includes the little grot here. Now, he is the only thing that you can't really change up. He's kind of all one piece. Now, his squig, the face is separate, but it's a different connection point than like the Age of Sigmar squigs. So that would be these guys right here. But he is the same size, and you can, like, again, just saw the face off of one of those to stick on him if you wanted a different looking face. Also, his armor panel on the bottom there is a separate piece, so you can glue that to the new face. And then the little snotling guy, well, not a whole lot of snotling parts around, but yeah, if you get some snotling parts, you can kind of mess with him as well. But yeah, he's on a single wheel, so I think what I might actually end up doing is making some more bomb squigs out of the rest of the squig herd, so that there's only one on a tire, and maybe putting a couple of these back in my squig herd. We'll see. But anyways, the whole box comes with a whole separate unit, and that is the knob on Smasha Squig. Now, this one again is very well done from Games Workshop. They actually give you 2 different arms to begin with, 2 different heads, and even 2 different ways to do the squig himself, as far as how far his head is pointed and what armor plate he has. So you can make 2 completely different ones just with factory options. In fact, your sprue that's left, you see here, there's the other neck. There's a different leg because there's a different pose. This one is mechanical leg. There's also a natural leg. So you've got 2 different poses on there, as well as the 2 different head pieces. Now, I didn't like either head for the knob on Smasha Squig. They just weren't very interesting to me. This is actually the knob head from the regular Beastsnaggas. So I went to my second sprue of Beastsnagga boys, chopped off the knob head, and stuck it on him. And again, didn't have to do any filing, any fitting. It literally just goes in the same spot. So super, super, super easy conversion, and he is all set. So I really like the way he came out. I also did a little different. This neck is the neck for the other build out with the non-mechanical leg, but I liked this look better with the mechanical leg. I don't know why, I just did, but personal preference. So my second one I'll make with the non-mechanical leg and the head pointing the other direction, and the other head top on there, as well as the other arm. Now if I ever do a third one of these, again, I can mix and match and do something even completely separate from there. So yeah, again, for being a monopose kit, there's two completely different poses straight out of the box, which is fantastic, and making a third really isn't hard because you have that ability to mix and match. All right, and finally we are on to Mozrog Skragbad, or the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. Again, one box makes both kits. In fact, pretty famously, they are separate at the torso. So you could put some magnets in here and build yourself one squig and both tops and have the option of taking either or. But since one of these comes in the Beastsnagga Stampede box, and I already own one, I'm going to go ahead and just build one as Mozrog and one as the Beast Boss, and just make them permanent. I think I might leave his body off for painting just because it'll be easier to get to everything on his body, but I did build this one out of the box exactly how you're supposed to for Mozrog. But you can totally, again, mix and match parts in order to make some different looking ones. So Mozrog Squig has the great big engine in it. The regular Beast Boss on Squigosaur does not, but it doesn't make a difference as far as stat lines or anything like that goes, so feel free to use either neck join with your squig. Now, unfortunately, the only option you do get is the neck join and the top of the character here. Everything else is the same. In fact, get the sprue. The sprue here, all that's left are the parts to build the actual Beast Boss top. Now, what I am going to do is take all these parts off and put some legs on them and make myself a second Beast Boss on foot for my army. So I'm going to get a whole extra unit out of it, so that is nice. But yeah, that's all you get for options. So the actual Squigosaur himself is gonna look a little samey. So when I do my second one, again, I'm gonna use this neck for him, and then I think I'm gonna take the drool off of him because his head's actually tilted the other way. It looks a little funny. And yeah, just kind of see what I can do. Maybe use some of the parts from the knob on Smasha Squig to see if I can't, I don't know, make him look any different or anything like that. Maybe put a skull top thingy on him. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. But I do have Mozrog Skragbad all built. So there he is. So where does that put me on my my goal here? How am I doing? Well, like I said, I had a few hours in the first couple of Beastsnaggas. Just a lot of it was filming and kind of getting things figured out. Did some stuff on stream, and then the rest of these I've been building in my regular real free time. So you know, had like an hour one evening while watching TV, did a bunch, had another random hour somewhere, had another random a little bit of time on a weekend. All in, I think I'm probably sitting at about 4 hours total in this army to this point. I'm not keeping a super accurate count, more like a rough idea, because again, I really enjoy building and I enjoy trying to figure out what fits where and what you can swap from this and that. And that takes up a lot of extra time, but it's an enjoyment for me, so I don't mind it. I love doing it. This is probably my favorite part of the whole hobby. So I have been super enjoying the time that I've had with the army. But push come to shove, now that I've showed you all of these things, I can actually glue these pieces together. And I will have my Mozrog Skragbad, my knob on Smasha Squig, my squad of Squighog boys, and a squad of Beastsnagga boys. So I have 4 new units added to my army to go with my Beast Boss that I already have. And then again, I am going to put a set of knob legs underneath my Beast Boss body so that I can have a second Beast Boss on foot, because I think that that is a fun idea. In fact, I think what I might do is, because I have these 10 Beastsnaggas and they're done, I have 20 more still on the sprue. I think I'm going to build that as a 20-man squad. That way I've got 1 Beast Boss to lead each squad. 1 for a 10-manner that'll probably ride around in the kill rig or something like that, and then 1 with the big 20-man foot slogging squad. We'll kind of see how that goes. So that's kind of the future of what's going to happen with the army. Now, if you liked following along with this, please feel free to join us over on Patreon. Patrons get first look at long format videos. They get to help make decisions about the channel, including what models I'm building, how I'm painting things, stuff of that nature, as well as exclusive access to certain things like my new bit service, which will be starting up in the new year. If you want to follow along with the build, I am streaming on Discord. I will be doing a lot of streaming the week of Christmas after the holiday. So that's kind of when I expect to get the bulk of this army done and really get into painting it. So if you're interested in doing those kind of hobby hangouts, definitely take a look at us on Twitch. If you want to talk about things, come join us over on Discord. We've got a whole Discord server set up to talk about all things Orky and all things 40k, especially Kid Hammer. Those of you that saw my short videos saw one of my Grot's Ultramarines army, which was a whole lot of fun to film and do. Yeah, and so that is everything on the channel and for this particular video. I want to thank you all for taking your time here with me today. And yeah, now it's time to ponder. What color should I paint those squigs? If only I knew. Well, there's only one thing left to do for this video, and you know what's coming. Are you ready? Let's do it together. Wagon!